So okay, so let me create a new application, a new flow, and we will see. So the demo itself, I'm creating a new flow. Okay, thing is, I have a list of numbers, which is an array. Basically, consider it as an array. I wanted to loop over that array, and first I wanted to print those values. Second, I wanted to count how many values there in the list. Okay, and third one, I wanted to calculate sum of all the values in the list. Fourth one, I wanted to calculate average of that numbers. How can we do the average? Sum of the numbers divided by number of years. Okay, so first one is, it's a flow service. So flow service is just like a method or a function which has input and output, and it can perform some task. That is what is explained in the this one, right? Training document. So list operations, list underscore flow service. Okay. First, then I am taking like empty flow. I don't want like XML documents for input, but for some of the flow services, we may need schema inputs, schema, so that we can send a kind of a structure XML or JSON message, so that it can process our data. But right now we are taking the empty flow, but sometimes we may take XML schema. Okay, so you know already schema. DTD also, it's kind of a schema which describes about XML. So you can also select XML. So from the XML also, it automatically converts a tree structure. We'll see all those later in the training. But right now I'm taking empty flow. Okay, I created empty flow. So our purpose is, for this flow, I wanted to list the numbers. Let's say 1, 2, 5, 6, like that. It's a list is there. I wanted to loop over. So the list is input to my flow or method. So and output, I wanted like count how many values are there in this list, sum of all the values, and average. I wanted sum divided by count gives average. So all this I wanted as an output. So this list, I call it as let's say numbers or number list, whichever I can say. So so it's a number list is my input, and these are the outputs. Okay, so for that I will go to the input function. So here on the left side it's inputs, the right side my outputs. So here are the possible values. Like if I use string, it expresses string as an input. But if you say this one document is nothing but it's a kind of a schema XML. It's similar to XML, XSD schema. Okay, it contains element, and it one element may contain another element, which becomes a complex element. All those you can create from these documents. Document list also similar documents like I'm sending. So we can call it as a like bunch of or array of similar documents becomes array list or document list. So we'll see all those things in future, like while learning. But first I'm taking a string, because sorry, if I take string, it only one value, correct? So I can take a string
list, sir.
String list. Yes. First I take a string list. I call it as a number list. Okay. So everyone, can you create a flow service? We'll do at the same time. Meghana, I wanted You also do the same because you already installed the software, you said.
Yes, sir.
Create a flow service. Done, right? Okay. Nagaraj, what about you? And what about Jashwant?
Yes, sir, I'm doing, sir.
Yes, sir, doing so.
Jashwant, what about you? Nagaraj? Creator, right? We thought like, we wanted to create 3 outputs. Okay. So first I'm creating an output which is again string. Actually, it's an integer only for us, but this web method is designed all inputs consider it as a string, but internally it will automatically typecast. Okay. Implicit typecast and explicit typecast means one data type to another data type, automatically it will convert. That called implicit typecasting. Okay. So count, I made one field. I wanted sum also. I want average also. 3 fields. Okay. Now we done input and output of this function. Now I will save it. So just save it every 1 minute or 2 minutes so that it will not disconnect from IS integration server, because it's a trial version. There is a limitations given. Okay. So now I will go to the tree. Okay. So first step is I wanted to initialize these 3 values, 1, 2, these 3 fields, because I wanted to use internally, like count equal to count plus 1 or sum equal to sum plus like that. So that's why I wanted to initialize these values to 0. That I can do using mapper. Okay. So yeah. So I can click here, double click. Okay. If I double click, it will give you the value. You can set 0 like this. Okay. When you click this one, if you see this symbol, there is some function kind of symbol is showing there. So this shows what is the value we set. Okay. Sum. Also I'm setting 0. Average I'm setting to 0. Okay. Is it clear? 1, 2, 3, I set it to 0.
Yes, sir.
I'm just saving here. Okay. So initialization is done. Now I wanted to loop my list. I can give list also here, but if you hard coded, so that means you're hard coding the values in the input. Okay, in the function itself. So we don't want to do that. While running, we wanted to give, before we execute our logic, we wanted to pass the list values. So that's why we are not setting the values here. Is that clear? Here also I can double click, I can set the value, but I don't want to do that. Okay. So this pipeline input, we cannot set it. Okay, but during the runtime we will give before just execution. Okay, now I wanted to loop over this list. So there is a function called loop. This is a palette. We will use a terminology palette. What I'm doing is I just click and paste it here. Okay, so for this loop to iterate, right, I need to say give the information like on which array this loop should be executed and it should loop. Okay, so if on the right side, if you see input array is there, here we will give the okay, so I wanted to loop, right? This tool is not providing like drag and drop kind of thing. So we need to know, like, go to this one. If I click here, I know this is my list. If you know, you can type it directly, but mostly we'll try to copy paste only, so that we will not do any mistakes. So I'm just click this one, selected loop. I'm going with the /loop. If you know the name, you can type it also, but I don't want to type it. I just copy pasted. Everyone did this one so far? Whether loop is working or not. Okay, because now when you write a program, right, I always suggest write little bit, test it till that point it is working or not, then go and add our functionality. Don't write everything at one go and test. Okay, I've seen many people did. Last time also I was telling to not your batch but other batch. They were like they think like whatever we write it will work, but it is not like that. Even experts also write little bit code, test, see if it is working as expected or not, then they keep on add other functionality. So I wanted to see if this loop is working or not. So best option is I can log a message. If I drag and drop it here, right, if you see, let us see, I will go to the log. We know where it is, public, and go to the flow service, flow. There we have a debug log. Okay. So everyone selected this one.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Whatever Nagaraju, Jashwant, Shiva Prasad. I click OK. If you see what is happening is map is there, loop is there, this debug is there, but this debug is not inside this loop. It's outside the loop. If you see both are at the same level, that means this pub is not inside the loop. Are you getting? So I wanted to bring this under the loop. Okay, so how can I do? One way, select this one, you have this option, move to the right. Okay, or you can select this one, you can drag, drop over exactly on the loop. It comes. No, yeah, it came, right? So if you see this one, if I close, if I click on this close button, so see, that is gone. If I expand tree structure, it is coming. So that means this log is inside loop block. Is that clear? Hope everyone done this one.
Done, sir.
Yeah, save
Yes,
it.
sir.
Okay, save it. Now, see, this loop is executing on this number list. Okay, when it is iterating, right, looping, so you will, when you click on here, the number which is showing is, this is an item of that array list. So name is same, okay, but it is an item of that iterate. So it is iterating, this list loop is iterating on number list. When it is iterated, and first time when it is entered inside the loop, this number list contains first element of that array list. First element of the array list. Is it clear? So I wanted to print that into message. Okay, so that I wanted to get the first element, print, next element, print, next element, and print, like that. Is it clear? Everyone done this one?
Sir, once again explain this number list and
Okay, so this loop is it. So how you can go localhost like this? So can everyone go to this one, integration server, if you're done? So we have a logs. Here we have a server logs. Click here. So server logs last message is showing a list flow. Okay. Now I will go and run this flow list to see if it is working or not. So I select here, run as. So sometimes it is not showing. So click again and somewhere and click back, so that it can refresh, and it will show you. Okay. Sometimes it will, even if it's not shown, just click here and go to file. The refresh option is there. Refresh. Okay. Then again click on here. Go run as flow service. Okay. When we run this flow service, it is asking for the number list. Hey, enter the values of this number list. So what I'm doing is, this is an array to see, like, add a row. So that means we can add n number of rows. Okay, that means number, first cell, first value in the list, first value in the list, second value in the list, third value in the list, fourth value in the list. Like that, I can enter any value. Okay, let's say I can enter 5, 5, 1. I'm entering 4 values. Okay, click OK. Then go. So here it is executed, message is printed. I wanted to see whether my logs are printed or not here. See, 5, 5, 1, 1, all are printed. Have you done this one so far? Can you do? Initialized counter equal to 0. It is basically counter. Okay. So I am going to increase. So number equal to count plus 1. Whenever iterate that loop, it increments by 1. So if list contains 5 elements, first time when it enters into this loop, okay, it adds 1, count plus 1, count plus 2, count plus means count is equal to count plus 1. Like that I wanted to add, so that at the end of the loop, count contains number of elements, right? So I'm selecting the again invoke. Instead of, I can place it here also, but I told, like, there is some bug in the problem, so I'm just selecting somewhere here. Okay, that invoke. Okay, on the top of this loop. Okay, so there is a add function is there in the math. Okay, math. Yeah, you can type, but I just wanted to go this one so that you will come to know, oh, JMS1 is there, JSON is there. No, your mind set, I'm just making mindset. Okay, so while observing, sometimes, no, oh, these are there, we can use it anytime. Okay, once you get experience, you'll directly type it and just you can do. Okay, that generally everyone do. Okay, I selected that add. Okay, here add, right? I wanted to first map it count equal to count plus 1, and then I will bring down to loop, or I can directly bring down to this inside the loop. I can do. Okay, like that, drag and drop. Did everyone do added this one? Add-ins, ins. Okay, you will see this pipeline below. Okay, so that add-ins function contains num1, num2 are the inputs, value is the output. So for one input, I will map this count value, which is counter value. Okay, other input I will pass.
In pipeline input message is there, sir.
Sorry.
In input side message is there, sir. One call. When I click on math add-ins, count sum average, no iteration in message came, sir. Message number list, count sum average.
No, I think you clicked on this log. If you clicked on this debug log, it is showing. Can you move on some cursor other side and come back again? Can you see like this? You will see count.
Sir, I click
Okay.
on math add-ins only.
I think you have like this. Okay, message is showing means like here. So your message number list count, correct?
Yes, iteration is not there.
So it is not there because you are not, this math int not under loop. If it is under the loop, you will get a.
Okay.
So if you close this one,
Okay, sir, now I got
everything should not display, and if I expand, those two should display like that. Okay, so here right number, I wanted to set this to 1 so that count plus 1 always added. Okay, double click and just adding here 1, the way like we initialized. So here also like this. Okay, now value I'm going to map it to count, so that this add function returns on count equal to count plus 1. So my left side one is count, right? That is an output. Okay, so that's why the value we are mapping to count. Are you getting this one? Why we are mapping? It's just a simple math functions. Okay, yeah. Now I will save it again. Everyone done so far?
Sir, we need to add math add ins under the loop, no sir? Under the map, sir?
Yeah, under the loop, not under the map, under the loop.
Okay.
Should be inside, right? So loop is iterating. I wanted to increment my counter, basically. It's a kind of a for loop I'm doing. So inside that, I need count equal to count plus 1. Okay, so now I wanted to test this one. Okay, so that there are no issues, no errors. Okay, we are not printing count, but I just wanted to see if it is working without any errors or not. So already we ran one time, right? So I can select the same list flow. Okay, I can change the values if I wanted anything. Okay, adjust this. Okay, it worked without any errors, and my count is also showing value 4. So that means 4 in the list. Okay, this one is working. So what I will do is first I will print here count. Okay, So I'm going to invoke add outside the loop, because after loop is finished, I wanted to print my log. Okay. So here, so if I type also, since I got some experience, and just I remember what is the function debug, I can select here. Okay. Sure, this is what you said, right? Yeah. So it's, if you remember, that is what gives like experience, practice. So you'll get remember these functions and you can do. Okay. So you can do like that also. I can do others, but no, we'll go with this only. Yeah. So yeah. So if you see, this is outside my loop. If I click close this one, it shows it's outside the loop. Okay, you got it right. So everyone, can you do this one so far? Done, right? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now I wanted to log, right? So I click this one. Sorry, Anisha, you are saying something.
In value,
I'm not able to hear anything. Anyone heard what Anusha saying? Naraj, did you heard what Anisha saying?
okay, sir, you continue after I will ask.
Okay, because I'm not able to hear, so okay. So now I wanted this count to be printed because my loop is over. I wanted to print this as a output. So I'm drag and drop this message. Okay, this count to message. So it will print my message after the loop. If I close this one, after the loop, it will print. Okay. I'm hoping everyone done this one so far. Done, right? Okay. So if you have a not clear about this flow, right? I can go and check it. I can go to the layout and see how it is working. Here, this one is a mapper we did initialized. This is my loop. Okay. Inside the loop, I have a debug. Okay. And add-ins. We printed and we are adding. Okay. After complete of this loop, we have a debug. So here where we are printing count. Is that clear? So in tree structure, if you're not able to understand whatever you did, so you sometimes we can go to the layout and see how it is there. So this is also clearly shows like what is happening to our flow. Okay. Now I did so far, right? I will run and see if it is working or not. So I've selected the same list flow. Here, if it goes list flow is there, I will click here, it runs. So I can add, suppose now 4 are there. I want to add one more element, I can do also. Okay, 6. I click. So it is executed. My count shows 5 values. I entered 5 values. Did I entered 5 values? I can go and check whether how many I sent. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, list contains 5 values. Counter is showing 5 values. I can go to my logs. Okay, stay logged in. If I refresh it, see, this is the value it is printed, which is count. Okay. Is it working for you guys so far?